welcome back, guys. Harry here, known as Trade Shop. And yeah, you know, Bitcoin did exactly what I wanted it to do. And I sent yesterday a chart in the Telegram saying I do expect. So please be sure to join. Link is in the description, completely free. You're welcome there. We chat a lot. And yeah, some great people. I said based on momentum, based on candles, I expect Bitcoin to pop up a little bit. It got that pop up, rejected in this whole accumulation area here, and then coming to the downside, essentially playing out that range that I wanted to happen, right? So now things are very clear, to be honest. Not very clear, but we have our daily support down here, which, daily is putting in, some sort of consolidation, which is good, right? 4 hour, we finally got some structure. And, after people, God knows what they were calling here, it's ridiculous. Yo, inverse head and shoulders. Oh, no, we have a smaller head and shoulders. Bitcoin break. No, it's ranges, guys. Just understand this, right? So it's very simple. Here's your range, right? So we had range here. Your range is actually up here like this. So if we got a breakout above here, we would see that big move. And that's what I was telling you yesterday. It's not going to be, if you use this as an inverse head and shoulders like this, that's your head. So you would have got, you would have been a nice loss. And then if you look at this, don't look at the head and shoulders, look at this as a range. You have clean candles here. If we break below that range, we're going to come down and probably retest these 33,000 level, which I do think Bitcoin will probably do. It probably will get a bounce at this support, to be honest. This trend line's no more relevant. Looking at this, this here trend line we have coming in, so I do think that it will have a bounce at this support, tiny bounce, but eventually I do think it does come down and fill out this range, and we can make a bigger range here. And essentially what I'm looking for here on Bitcoin is I want to see something like this. I want to see Bitcoin come down, hold this again. I want to see a rejection, right? I want to see it come back up in the range, and this is how we're going to confirm, right, that we are going to do some sort of accumulation. Then come down like this. So now we have a double test here. Come up here, come above these levels here, then curl down here, all right? Fake these people out, get people on the boat, come down here, swipe again at the lows, all right? Then we can continue up. But what's very, very important, guys, and this is what's going to probably be the make it or break it, is let's come over to the weekly time chart here. Come on a cleaner chart we have here, all right, guys? And this is very simple, very simple, and I've discussed this before with you guys. What we need to do is we need to start trading. If we start on a weekly time frame, obviously we have to hold our level here at that 32k. As soon as we close below 32k, it's detrimental to price, right? And that's pretty obvious, until we do that, it's not technically confirmed bear market on a strong time frame like a weekly, right? We're confirmed bear market on the daily, and not even on the daily and below. We're confirmed not bear market, downtrend. Bear market will be confirmed once the weekly closes, which hasn't happened. We've got a nice rejection. But what I do need to see happen, okay, is we accumulate here on the weekly, which will look good. Then continue up, right? And we get a strong weekly candle that passes through this whole level here. If we don't pass and reject on this whole level here, like I've been talking, remember on the lower time frames, if we were to just V bottom, reject on these levels without getting our confirmation here at this support, that retest of this previous high, probably, if it comes down to continue up like that, and if we shoot through, and then on the daily time frame we start making lower lows, breaking back into the previous ranges. This is very important, guys. I want you to concentrate. Breaking back into the previous ranges, all right, then we can anticipate that we probably will come down and break the weekly low here. And guess what that will be? That'll be your higher low. And then you get all of your famous YouTube people coming in and saying, what do we have? Head and shoulders. And probably if you take a measured move, the first level of support we have on a weekly time frame is technically down here, but relatively it's actually all the way back there, So now if we take your magical measured move, guess where it's going to come? Let's have a look. All right, so here's your magical measured move. and we bring it to the line of breakout. Yep, it's lining up with the lows here, which is scary, of course, right? But that's, basically a bear market. And do I think it can come all the way down there? Well, not really, not really, not at this current stature. It's too early, but this is what I need to see. And it's just at 32. It's very simple at this point. The more we can go sideways and create that base, the better this is going to become. Looking at daily, we're putting in some structure for a base. This does look like early signs of accumulation. Why do I say that? Well, you first have your rejection wicks showing strong buying pressure. Something similar here. You see, you get your rejection wicks, you come up, you come back down, make that base. You see how that base has to be put in with double candles testing it as support, and then you continue up. And then when you continue up, you see how strong you close above your last high, not rejecting at previous levels. Because what I don't want us is to come and start rejecting here and do something like this, right? We want to see a rejection. Obviously, there'll be some sort of rejection at these areas. Come up, come down, break through the range, right? That's what we need to see. So that's very, very, very important. Now, looking at market sentiment, it's going to take some time, I think. It's going to really take some time. One thing on the 4-hour, remember, we had that 50 moving average, and the 50 moving average was being resistance like this. What I want to see, another sign of accumulation, because the 50 is really good at telling you if you're in an uptrend and a downtrend. If you can't read structure, just look at the 50 moving average. So if the 50 now, if I check it, is starting either to come under here, which is obviously means that price probably will come, or which is even better if it starts going through the price, which means price is ranging. And that means we're putting in some sort of base, right? So if now I bring up the 50 and we have a look what the 50 is doing. Yeah, check this out. So we have the 50 here, which is this green. So we had the 20, which is coming down here, right? And we can see that was strong resistance. And now we have that 50. And what is price doing? Price is now coming and ranging between. So that is good to see that it's ranging on these. It's showing me that we're making some sort of consolidation here, right? And I like to see that, because that is telling me that we are looking like we want to accumulate. Now I do think we swipe down, but one thing that can happen before we break that weekly low, because then we're just waiting there based on weeklies, right? We're saying, all right, what if we just shoot down? If we are closing, probably a daily would do it. I would maybe even a 4-hour. If we're closing candles back below our previous low at 33,000, then I can start targeting a straight move down to here, 26,000. So that's how we're gonna play this. And obviously, we start reversing the time frames, right? So if the 4-hour is trading below there, if the 4-hour is starting to play in 25,000, high chance the weekly will start trading below there. So this base here has to be the base. Yes, we can have wicks, no problem. But this has to be the base. This area here, this whole accumulation, has to become the base. On this 1 hour, you see that area? You see how it looks like we want to curl below this range? Bounce. This has to remain the base. This is very important, right? And if you look at this as a base, what does it become on the 1 hour? If you guys like shapes and stuff, you're starting to put in some sort of descending triangle, something like this. You see that? Look at this. So if you start playing between here, pop up, come back, but that is your base, right? And obviously, if you break down out of this base, where's our target gonna be? Let's see. No, that's... How is that working? Oh, I drew it too big. Should be from our recent highs. Something like that, actually. My bad. I don't use shape, guys. So, normally it does line up with... Now, let's see if it's lining up with our $25. Well, 21 it's giving me from that range. But, I do think there's a 25 bounce, of course. But, yeah, you can see how that's been resistance here. Something like this. Resistance, resistance. This needs to be extended a bit there. And, you get the gist of it, right? So we take it from the middle somewhere here, like this. it's giving us, yeah, that 22,000. But, it will lead one into the other. So what do I think is going to happen? To be honest, what do I want to see? I want to see price start to range in these areas here. I do see positive news starting to come out. I do think the future for Bitcoin does hold, and I do really think that probably we do pull out of this, to be honest. And I think even if we do go into a bear market, it really does hold a lot of future for Bitcoin, and I do think soon an ETF gets placed and more regulatory features come out that will make this asset class probably hold its current range. What we want to see is we want to see it get boring. This is, we want to see it accumulate, and Bitcoin has done this, right? If I go to not BLX, I think this should be enough, and we go on the weekly chart. This is not the first time daily is even fine. This is, we have seen Bitcoin really good at holding ranges, something like this, you see, puts in that low, puts in that low. Bitcoin has done this. Look how many times Bitcoin has ranged. We want to see it range. Bitcoin is good at ranging. Look at this whole range here. As long as it's putting in that base, it's good, right? And look, you see? Obviously, this is different context. This is a full daily, strong, weekly downtrend, right? So as soon as it consolidates, boom, big breakout. Consolidation, boom, huge breakout. Consolidation, breakout. Consolidation, breakout. You know what I mean? You get the gist. So that's what we need to see happen. And I do think, and price gets boring, volume gets boring. Long time since I've looked at volume. Volume starts to die down. We can still see here, volume is getting now into that contraction. Starts contracting, and boom, we continue up and onwards. And that's what I think should happen. And I'll keep you updated based on my analysis, based on my, structural understanding, when I think that, okay, looks like we might roll over. You know what I mean? At this point, a lot of people have their own opinion, and of course it's at a pivotal moment, and we don't know whether it's going to be up or down. But what we do know is that we have our ranges, and we have to play the ranges. And also with technical analysis, what we can do is we can predict and anticipate that range to be broken based on lower time frames leading into higher. So with that being said, in the immediate short term, what do I expect here? I do expect us, stocks are pretty low. As I said, bounce off this support level here, tiny bounce. And if we do close below the 36,000, I do see a nice quick move, probably to 34,000 here. A little bit of a bounce there. Even probably over the weekend, we could get back to 32, to be honest. Put in that base over the weekend. But with that being said, take care, trade sharp, and until next time, peace.